Hey, everybody, welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor. He is the pioneer of a new branch of medicine just for men called testosteronology. To learn all about that, go to his website, testosteronology.com. Take the word testosterone, take the E off the end, and put OLOGY.com, and you've got it. Dr. O'Connor is also the author of America on Steroids, A Time to Heal. You can pick that up on that website or Amazon.com. And now joining us, not from Athens, Greece, but Hartford, Connecticut, Dr. Thomas O'Connor.
Thank you so much, Ron. Oh my God.
Indeed. Oh my God. How's the zombie apocalypse treating you?
Oh my God. This is just, every day it just gets more. I'm just like, this is not really happening, is it? Are things all closed? I do telemedicine, so I work in a bubble. I've been doing telemedicine for years appropriately.
Right.
And now we have to keep everyone away. And I'm set up for it. But my peers are not. And I don't go in the hospital. I gave that up a couple of years ago because all I do is testosteronologists don't have to go in hospitals.
Correct.
So it is, Ron, let's get into this, buddy. This is a freak show for real.
Yeah, I was just reading, because so many people are saying this is an overreaction. People are panicking. Well, people are panicking, but
Yeah.
Because of the death toll doesn't seem like it's that significant yet. People are saying, why do we have to take all these measures of containing ourselves, self-quarantine, the social distancing? And then I just saw some statistics about the mortality rate of this, and it's actually higher than the Spanish flu, which killed 50 million people around the world in 1918. So even if something's only got like a 3% mortality rate, if enough people get it, you're talking many, many millions of people.
And this is interesting for the drama. Is this a product of biologic warfare? Like, we don't, where it came from in China. Sorry, Chinese guys. I mean, we don't know. We're not the unknown. This is all the unknown now. That's why the market's tanked. No one knows what to do. But it is true. It's coronavirus is like rhinovirus, adeno. These are cold viruses. But what's in the DNA of this thing that they're not talking about? What is in it? That's why it's a SARS. Does it cause? It spreads very easily, and that's how it's getting around. A lot of people are asymptomatic carriers,
right?
And then that's this. You could have it. You could just but the truth is, the data's coming out, and it is scary. And not that we would say, it's only going to hit the old people. That's why you see the kids partying on Fort Lauderdale, like they were just like, we don't care if we get it. It's not going to affect us. And if a few people die, we don't care. We're partiers. We're game on. But it's like, it is true. And if you look at some of the statistics coming out of Italy, it's worse than it's not the flu, but it could be actually, like you said, worse than the flu, Spanish flu and the regular flu. Kids can get it, regular immune competent people that have regular immune systems. It's just gambling in Vegas. Like I say, you don't know. So
and even Vegas is shut down.
Mohegan, we're in Connecticut here, and we just canceled our trip. We're going to go back to Florida to rock on in April. Everything is dust. We're just dusted. So we're just sitting here, and I do stay away. I've had some people come into the office because I'm so, they just have to see me, new patients and consults, and I do keep them away. But I guess at the end of the hour and a half, if they're not sniffling and they don't look sick, I probably shake the hand and get a blood pressure. But it's just like, we don't. Yeah, I do a lot of hand washing. This is you do have to take it seriously, because what the flatten the curve means. You know what that means? Flatten the curve. So that curve, that goes like this now. That curve of the area under the curve is going to represent how many people get sick. It's morbidity and mortality. It's how many people get sick, morbidity, mortality, death. So if all we have is, if everyone was completely isolated, no one would get it. It would go away. Think of comments. So we're trying to now look. Oh my God, we're destroying our economy. But I mean, I'm not putting Trump down. I'm not putting governors down, and I'm not putting. What the hell do you do, Ron? What do you do?
Yeah. So, now I'm going to get to the meathead selfish stuff. I don't have much of a home gym. I got a couple dumbbells and stuff. You have an actual You have a fairly complete home gym, do you not?
I got one, and my buddy I train with, it's only just me and him anyway, because
Okay.
I
Okay.
think we've scared away so many people. We have the best, we're bench guys. We're professional we have the best benches, we have the best equipment. And what we lack normally is liftoff and spotters, so there's always a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old running around. We make them hold the boards.
I gotta say one more thing about these spring breakers because I did a video for the MD channel earlier today. These kids are oblivious and they're, I don't know if let's just say there's a 250,000 kids partying in Florida over this past few days. I think that's a very conservative estimate. So that's a 250,000. Let's say they go home and their household has four more people. That's another million people they just infected,
It's all numbers, Ron.
and so on. It's like that shampoo commercial, so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, it's like, so that's why the flattening the curve means if you keep people from spreading it to each other until the last the scary thing is though, if it, so you're gonna here's my prediction. You're in a month from now, you're gonna see the numbers are gonna probably it's gonna between now and 6 weeks are gonna go, or 2 months, it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
There'll be a point where it will go down like China. And then here's the scary piece from a public health standpoint and an epidemiological mathematical standpoint. So if it's completely clear, coast is clear, coast is clear. When you go back out, if there's even a few cases out, it starts to go back up again. And the only way to determine it is to test everyone, either with the actual test or check their blood. I'm just telling you the medical stuff to see if they have antibodies, because there'll be a lot of people in the population that have had it and they're fine.
Right.
And if again, I'm not an infectious disease expert, but I'm an internist and I know a lot about infectious disease. So if people get, it's like immunity. If they get this, we're going to talk about immunity today. It's going to be great. And look at the comments from my immunity video. They're more amazing than I imagined. So if you,
3 pages. Wow. Geez.
but if you get it, are you immune protected? Like if you get, that's why we give people a flu vaccine. It's really a little bit of protein that's giving you a little bit of the flu, but it's not live. And your body's immune system sees it. You respond appropriately. If you do, with antibodies. So if you actually come in contact with a real flu, you have the army of antibodies. Boom. So, and it does work. Forget the bro science and the anti-government people. It just works. Does it work for everyone? No. Do they get the strain of flu every year just nailed? No, they don't. Matter of fact, in the last couple of years, it seems like they've not been able to predict it very well. It still helps some people. So, they're not going to have a vaccine. I just want to hit all the scientific stuff up front for everyone. We're not going to get a vaccine for another year or at least a year or two because you need to do studies. Now, that takes time.
There's no time.
They are coming up with direct antiviral medicines, and that may come hopefully within 6 months because they're just pipelining. They're just giving people. They're just forget animal study. They're just giving it. There's people that are signing up. God bless them.
Yeah. To
just get injected with a variety of different viral toxic remedies, and there's going to be side effects. So we are in a full-on pandemic state of emergency. It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's very true.
All right, let's get into to talk about your video, which you did on your channel, Anabolic Doc. I think it was called Steroids and the Immune System, was it?
Yeah. And Ron, one more thing. For
sure.
all the people, I think, Ron, I just started feeling this way a couple of days ago because I was like, they're overblowing it. Most people are fine. Maybe it's just the old people. Not that old people should die, but keep the old people home. When I see that the statistics for death, young people, I have a 22-year-old. I know you do too. You have a young son. And it's not as, it's just, but it hits home. And if any little fucking dirtbag thinks that we're overblowing it, you know what? Fuck off. Because it's all about numbers. You want to gamble in Vegas. This thing could be an absolute end of the world nightmare. Why? Because it's going to kill, you said, Ron, 1 or 2 or 4%.
That's a lot.
Do the math on that in Boston and New York. We're going to overload the hospitals. It's happening right now potentially. The panic and fear. You can't blame people. The toilet paper is weird, but so you know what? Stay away from people. And my business is taking a goddamn hit like anyone else's. Although I'm telemedicine guy, we got. What are you going to do about it, folks? What are we going to do? You got a better idea?
I just got. There was one quote. I saw some news clips of these spring break kids, and I just want to reach through the screen and punch them. Some of them. This one kid said, they said, well, what about you catching this and bringing it back to like senior citizens? He goes, young people don't hang out with old people anyway. That's not.
Oh
So,
my God.
so okay, all
I
right.
just want to get my point for all the haters. I mean, this is now you can be a little freaking wacko sitting at your little hating table, and you know what? You are irrelevant now. You are fucking irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean,
We have to have some common sense going on, Ron, because this is not going to be good for our world and our economy because we're done.
I mean,
We're done.
We've only been shut down really for a few days now, and already everyone's.
Ron, we just get it over with.
Yeah.
Get it over with. I don't know what to say. And essential workers have to work. People do have to go out there and work. Just keep the distance, keep it common sense, and then we can keep people working appropriately. I mean, right or wrong. Anyway,
A lot of people won't be working at all for a long time, unfortunately. And they're not going to be making any money in the economy. Well, anyway, let's move on. Steroids and immune system, Doc. So you did this video. So you made a very important distinction because corticosteroids and anabolic steroids are two very, very different things, different mechanisms, and they act on the immune system in very different ways. So you explained what corticosteroids are. Cortisol is a natural corticosteroid. Regulates inflammation, blood pressure, glucose metabolism, sleep-wake cycles, and more. Cortisol levels from the adrenal glands keep your immune system in balance. The medical uses, we have the three most popular corticosteroids that most people watching this have either used or are familiar with are prednisone, and methylprednisolone and cortisone, used for autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, irritable bowel diseases, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, which my son now has, unfortunately, organ transplant patients. Patients on corticosteroids are considered immunosuppressed. So corticosteroids, clinically proven, they lower your immune system, correct?
Absolutely, 100%. No one's arguing that.
Okay. And what about like over the counter, like Benadryl would be a very mild
No,
corticosteroid.
Benadryl's an antihistamine. No.
Doink.
No, that's okay. No, Brian. That's why we do the show.
Yeah.
Benadryl is an antihistamine. See, a lot of these things are lumped in together for that, for the skin stuff. So topical steroid is like cortisone. You have topical 1% hydrocortisone, topical, and we have really strong topical steroids that we use for like poison ivy or for non-specific dermatologic, for itchy skin basically, and for all sorts of dermatologic reasons, really strong topical steroid. But if it's not strong enough topically, I give prednisone. We give prednisone. We do it all the time.
What are the major side effects? I've heard prednisone. Was it weight gain?
Prednisone, you're going to puff up just like Anadrol, D-ball, depending on who you are, how much you take. You're going to get puffy. You're going to be up like vacuuming and cleaning. You have tons of energy in the beginning. You're not going to sleep. You can get grouchy and irritable. I mean, and if you look on the labs, it pushes people into diabetic states temporarily, and the white cells go up because it dislodges off the side of the wall. It increases the white cells, and we see but see, that's on paper. In the lab. Is it clinically happening to the patient? You have to take it on a patient per patient basis. We give steroids to people that have immune system issues. If they're in the hospital and they have pneumonia and COPD, we give them goddamn IV steroids and we give them antibiotics all day long because we're just trying to. This is like, because you have to open the airway, and there's no better drug for opening the airway, I tell you, in asthma than it is after epinephrine. It's corticosteroids, Ron.
Okay. So then you talked about in the video anabolic androgenic steroids, which are very, very different. In large doses, animals were found to get immunosuppressed, but that's animals. There's no conclusive data because I don't think any similar studies have been run on human beings.
There's none.
So
None.
we have a ton
Not
of
sure.
anecdotal stuff. Well, you did say that low calorie diet can lower immune system. So if you're dieting, guys, yeah, you will get sick because you're running ragged there. But you suspect that there's something about the receptors for corticosteroids versus anabolic androgenic steroids that are very distinct and give this different effect.
That's it. So people that have talked, again, these are doctors and experts that should not talk when they're saying steroids. So many guys have told me just globally over the year. The doc told me testosterone is going to cause prostate cancer. Wrong. If you have prostate cancer, it could worsen it. Wrong. Steroids will cause heart disease. Maybe. You better pay attention and let's focus on that. But then, doc, my doctor told me that across the boards, anabolic steroid use and even testosterone will hurt my immune system. Now, I just say, question, where's the data? Now, look at my video and look at how many comments? 250 now?
I printed out 3 pages worth. I don't know if I'll even get.
So on,
If I'll
it's
necessarily get to them.
it's most no, that's a study right there. That's that now it's biased because men that are on my channel are going to be biased, right? So we're not doing a cross section, we're not randomizing. So it's we're pulling in guys that are going to be either, for steroids or maybe some guys that are against. So, but it's amazing that how many guys have commented that they felt better, less cold. Again, this is not a goddamn clinical study.
It's
But
self-reported as well.
it's correct. It's anecdotal and it does have value in the world. These are men, no one's getting paid. And there's my site's not I don't make money on the site. It's not monetized. So the site is open to the world. It's got a big following, and thank you guys for growing. I'm a son of a bitch, and I'm getting more like this because I just want to keep it clear and keep it open and honest and ethical. It is what it is. I'm the expert on steroids. Good things or bad things. This, I think, testosterone you guys come off steroids, they go into a withdrawal syndrome for the central nervous system. All the data supports it. Guys don't feel good. Can it cause a depletion and a transient, if not permanent, suppressed immune system? Question mark. I don't know. Maybe. Look at the guy.
Like I said, you solicited comments from steroid users about whether they felt it weakened or strengthened their immune system. And here's just, I'll read the few and then I'll get tired, I'm sure. Personally, I get a lot more colds off cycle as on cycle. I was totally off, but started 300 milligrams test because of the virus spreading. I don't think it's the steroids making your immune stronger. I think it's the low T from PCT that makes it weaker. Next guy, I feel if anything, my immune system improves when I'm using. 5 people agreed with him, said same, whatever. Had been blasting and cruising for years, and honestly, when blasting, I've never got any sickness. While cruising, I've had one bad chest cold in the last 3 years, and that's it. I have never been sick on TRT or a blast, even around sick people. Next one, been on and off for about a decade. Always thought my immune system worked better when on. I always felt worse when off. 3 agreed with him. Haven't had a cold in 8 months on TRT. Used to get regular colds quarterly. To those guys who say to get off when sick, doesn't make any sense to get off while sick. Seems like the problem would get much worse. Okay, we had one guy who, of course, one guy has to be the outlier. Strange one for me, too, to see all these comments. For myself, I find I'm very weak when it comes to fighting flu bugs. As soon as I shot test, I feel lethargic and drained until it kicks in and builds up. Very cold-like symptoms. Always do this. Yeah, people talk about a test flu. I've never experienced anything like that. Couple more. Winter 2018, I was steroid-free, got sick like 5 or 6 times. Winter 2019, full cycle, didn't even catch a cold. Next guy. I don't really get sick, just allergies every year around this time and sinus infections too. I don't remember getting sick last year though. I get blood work every 3 months, full panel from my doctor too, and he knows I source my own testosterone, HGH, and anabolics. One more. Used to get pretty sick once a year. Since TRT 3 years ago, haven't been sick. Everybody in my household had the flu last year, and the only symptoms I got were fatigue, moody, and sleep quality went down. I've gotten diarrhea a few times. Thank you for that info. Not near as often, though. The biggest difference I noticed right away was libido, and weirdly enough, my memory got way better. So I won't even bother. They're very, very, all these comments, I only printed up a small sample. Like you said, you had excess of 250 the last time I checked. I'm sure it's going up. And many, many have the same, it's a variation on a theme, is they feel like their immune system is stronger. They don't get sick, even when people around them are sick. Their immune system is somehow stronger. Do you have any idea what the mechanism could be? How could anabolic steroids
I knew you were going to
enhance?
ask me that.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm curious. I want to know.
so let me see if I could tap into the. I didn't prepare for this, but this is fine. So
Okay.
immune. This is the study of immunology. Immunology is, woo, those are really smart. Those are molecular biology guys and so your immune system. Now, for me as an internist, testosteronologist,
Yeah.
I look at CBCs all day with the automated or differential, which is the white cells, the platelets, and the red blood cells. And you know me, I look at those platelets and the red cells, excuse me, the red cells, the polycythemia, all that. When I see white blood cells on a CBC that are either very, very high or very, very low, are you infected? Do you have, you fight, so your body responds to that, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I know, unfortunately, being an internist and primary care doctor when I was one, I've diagnosed and looked at lymphoma. You see evidence of lymphoma and leukemia, but this is all of your immune system.
Mm.
So when you look at the immune system, there's T cells, B cells, granulocytes, eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils, and they're fighting bacteria, viruses, parasites. I'm just trying to bring my brain open on this.
Yeah.
And the way it works is so complicated. I did my basic, cell biology and immunology in med school, and I'm a steroid expert, so
Yeah.
anabolic. So I definitely don't know this question. I think here's what it's going to lie somewhere that if it's potentiating something positive, it's really doing the opposite of the corticosteroid, but it's
Mm.
it's 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 somehow bolstering your B cell and your T cell lines, and
Yeah.
and it's definitely not. It can't. Here's my hypothesis. Anabolic steroid use. Now, this is moderate steroid use for regularly healthy men, not outliers that are sick, that have disease, or guys that are doing tons of drugs that you're going to be just over the edge and you're going to get sick because your organ function's getting hurt,
Mm.
kidney and liver, common sense. That my guess is that and TRT, my guess is there's some bolstering.
Mm.
Men, think about it. Now, it increases red blood cells.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the white cell line, and it doesn't usually at all affect the platelet line.
Okay.
Those are three. Your bone marrow has three things: white cells, red cells, and platelets. That's it. It's doing something for the receptors, the androgen receptor versus the cortical receptor, and it's doing something to the bone marrow. But it seems to bolster. It seems to increase, and if it doesn't it doesn't increase because we don't take that away. We don't see an increase in WBCs, but it does something to makes the white blood cells you have T cells and B cells, and I'm not an expert in this stuff. It's not what I
Mm.
do. It does something to make their activity strong, better, or more optimal. Because men would never do steroids if they got sicker and they felt like shit. I do
Sure.
steroids. I do like test and anavar, doc. I just go on my, blah, blah, blah. The average steroid user. He goes on and off like, yeah, recreational steroids. Maybe a guy like you, right? Come on, you don't want to die. You don't want to. So you do it because you feel phenomenal and you want to watch the heart and all prostate. Okay, look. So if men for the last 30 to 40 years were doing regular recreational steroids, there are millions and millions of men that if they got sicker, they wouldn't do it, Ron. Am I
Yeah.
right or wrong?
Absolutely. I just
There's
thought
so
of my own.
much.
I just had to think to myself anecdotally when I was natural, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Um, but I used to get the flu. Like a lot of people, I would get it at least once a year, typically during the winter. I had other issues like I would get this thing where I thought I had to have my tonsils out, and that they had me on antibiotics for 100 days straight at one point. I can't remember the last time I got the flu, and I'm always
Not
on at least TRT. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly right. Especially right now, I
holy
haven't
sh-
had the flu. I can't. It's been at least 10 years. It has to be at least 10 years because I cannot remember how long it's been. And
it's
I'm not
so
saying steroids make my immune system super strong. I don't know if that's
Don't-
accurate or not.
but they don't hurt the immune system.
Right.
There's no
Right.
way they
Because
do.
I've been
So,
around sick people. I've been in the household. People in my house have had the flu. So the
m-
bugs everywhere.
men would not to mention women,
Mm.
people would not use anabolic androgenic steroids. They wouldn't use them to the way they do because they would be, I used them and I got sick. And who's using this? There's no way, but we have no formal studies. This is just a huge anecdotal mass observation where how many, and you and I both know, more than me at this point, the pro bodybuilders, knocking on wood, pro bodybuilders, look, the hearts get affected, the hair gets affected, the kidneys get affected over depending on who they are, how long they do it, blah, blah, blah. But you don't see pro bodybuilders, you don't see them getting sick, do you though, Ron? And not showing up for the show really. And forget Dallas McCarver, forget the outliers, the poor guy. So there's something we need to stop. And then should we go into the nut that says he's going to come, the nut guy, the nut, come on, Ron, this guy's going to cure COVID-19 with what? Your saliva, sir? Your
Two words, clickbait. But
this is
yeah,
fucking, I mean, this guy's a Yahoo boy. I'll tell you, this is such a serious world epidemic that we tripped in. Ron, this happened overnight. This thing just happened over.
it's not just irresponsible. Okay, so what we're talking about is Generation Iron just put out a video with Tony Huge where he said he could cure the coronavirus with. I didn't watch it. I'm sorry. Everyone's gonna get mad because they say you didn't even watch a video. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the video. Sorry, guys.
That's a
But
senseless video, guys.
we got the greatest medical minds in epidemiology and World Health Organization, CD. We have literally the best medical minds in the world on the case right now. And this Yahoo lawyer who runs around Bangkok banging, whatever. he, he's going to cure. He's going to cure. He's going to cure the coronavirus with what, like an extra dose of Tren or GH or something? Come on.
Yeah, or insulin or something.
And even if what we're talking about is found to be true someday, that steroids do boost the immune system and help you stave off infections that the person next to you might get and you won't, because something about the steroid use enhances your immune system, as opposed to the average bear next to you. It's still irresponsible to even be talking about a cure right now when you're just
oh my God, Ron. And we're not saying that. I am not, let's be clear, Ron, we're not saying that testosterone or steroids, for whatever that means, steroid use, which is a widely ranging spectrum, is going to be a cure for this horrible pandemic. But just globally, you want to keep your immune system function good. I like vitamin C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zinc, resting, staying stressed. If you're on steroids or testosterone, try to stay on testosterone.
Yeah.
Don't take too. A lot of guys are calling. I love my patients. I love you guys for trusting me, and I'm getting hammered. I'm always here, man. I'm telemedicine. I'm here for the world. I love it. I got extra juice. I'm ready to go. Here's the deal. Not juice for you, Ron. Not your juice, Ron. I got extra juice going in the blood. Here's the deal. Men trust me, and they doc. I was going to run a cycle and this and that. I always for man per man. I hear them and I respect them, and not that I say, hey, why don't you take some this much Anavar, that much Winstrol, them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I say, sir, I say to him today, which I love you guys, man. I say, sir, look, imagine you took some extra doses and injections and you get a fucking cellulitis. If you have to go and I can't treat it with okay, you're laughing because you're like, oh my God, I see where the doc's going. Yeah. So like, or if you take extra steroids and your blood pressure goes up, and literally, I get these calls every day. A wife called for a guy. This is over the course of the last month or so, because I don't know what day it is. And he tripped, he was dizzy, he was lifting, and this is before this thing hit, lifting at home, lifting a lot of weight, and got dizzy and fell, and she was going to send him to the ER, and I was like, oh my God. So imagine you get dizzy and you trip, or maybe you have a stroke or not a stroke, or you get dizzy and you fall. Do you want to go into your local emergency room right now?
No. And just think, think about it. I can only imagine the hospitals are already starting to get overwhelmed.
They
If
are.
this thing gets to the point where we fear it might, yeah, if you're going to the ER with anything less than a gunshot wound, you're not going to get seen
You're
for
not.
like a day or 48 hours.
The Army Corps of Engineers, this is a secret, right? But it's coming, is going
Uh,
to start setting up in Walmarts and parking lots adjacent to your hospitals. They're going to set up those mobile units, hopefully with respirator. I'm not kidding. I
yeah, they
mean,
don't. I mean, how many ventilators even a big city hospital? How many do they have?
not enough.
Not
Not enough.
enough. If
Not
you
enough.
have a big city like New York or Chicago or whatever, and
Ron. So we
you
don't.
know,
We're not going to
let's say
manage.
a 500,000 people need ventilators
And
to
we're
breathe.
going to get through this, right? So people are going to get sick. It's just, and then it's going to be the weakest will get more sick. So we don't have enough. We're unprepared for this, and we're not going to. There's no need to call blame right now because we're just our pants were caught down. No one thought this would ever happen. So they're going to make those ventilators. Forget the market and the money and all this kind of. I mean, oh my lord, it's going to be horrible. But if you don't do anything to get sicker, so I like vitamin C. I like good fish oil products. I'm not going to say any names. I just don't want to do that. I like staying really healthy. If you're on testosterone, stay on testosterone. Stay on testosterone. Don't come off. Don't go up. Don't go down. Stay. You should talk to your doctor. Everyone's doing telehealth, completely no liabilities. We have to talk, keep people away from waiting rooms and hospitals. Common sense. We have to get through it. That's all I want people to know. And I like common sense measures, Ron. What do you think about supplements? What kind of supplements do you like, Ron, for that you felt good on? Vitamin C, what else?
I'm into the supplements to get you jacked. So
B12.
no, I
B
do. I take a good range of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, D3,
Turmeric. I like
vitamin E, turmeric.
I
Yeah,
like turmeric. I take turmeric, vitamin D, vitamin C, CoQ10. I take a very good
CoQ10.
fish oil. I don't want to say what fish oil I take. Of
Yeah,
course, I take some medicines to protect my heart. I don't want to say which ones. I just don't feel comfortable.
yeah.
I don't want to do brand going on here. So if you use all those together, and of course testosterone, just a physiologic dose, you want to get through it. Man, Ron, I tell you, you don't want to be going on steroids during this time.
Yeah.
If you're on steroids, you should please, guys, bring it down to TRT
Well, I
doses.
mean, if your gym's closed, why are you going to be blasting a gram or two of gear? Come on. So you can train at home with your 10-pound dumbbell? Come on.
But
Uh,
but it's funny because some of my guys have been calling up and they're like, Doc, I'm gonna get some personal records at home. I gotta look forward to this. We got small lifting crew coming together. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't we don't know this is gonna go on for a few months, Ron.
I have to throw this out there. It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but someone commented on me and Dr. T's video. Doctor, you need to get off all those statins that Dr. O has you on. You don't have me on them. My cardiologist has. You are not my doctor. But someone said they're killing you, Ron. Your face is sagging, your hair is falling out, you look exhausted. I said, I'm 50 years old. You know, talk to me when you're
Hey,
50. Let's see
you
how
look
great you
great.
look, dude. I'm
You
on
look
10
great.
milligrams of atorvastatin a day.
And all
Chill,
those pictures when at the Arnold, you look phenomenal, man.
right? Photoshopped, but
And
yeah.
those people, what was the Arnold like? Not to get off subject too
No,
far,
it's
but
okay. The Arnold, a good amount of people still came out for it. The most bizarre thing for me, and with the exception of there being no expo, because I've been to like 20 Arnolds since 1995, and the expo is always, even back then it was tiny, but I mean the expo is a big draw, and
freaks.
that's 100,000 people, 200,000 people traipsing through there with 1,000 plus booths, and to have that be completely out of the equation was crazy. Also for the judging on Friday and Saturday of the professional events, there was no audience allowed, only judges and media. So you could hear crickets in there. That was bizarre. I've never seen pro bodybuilding show being judged
Well,
without people hooting and hollering and clapping and air horns. It was pretty quiet, and yeah, but for my purposes, I know this sounds terrible, but for my purposes in providing the best content and the most content for muscular development, covering it, it actually worked out to our advantage because
wow.
without all those throngs of people to have to push through, it made our job easier. So
Well, the photographs, the coverage was outstanding, and the competitors looked so amazing. They
it did.
always do, though.
Yeah, I mean the show went on and it was a great show. It really was. The finals, Friday and Saturday night finals were sold out. There was not one empty seat in that place, and people were going crazy because they hadn't been allowed to be at the judging, so this was all they could see. Man, yeah, rough.
So,
So
Ron,
got
so bodybuilding's down now for how long is this? The season's not going to go on,
they
right?
have canceled or postponed any events that were going to happen until May 10th. So hopefully by May 11th, everything is still on track. And some events that were like we have a big show here called the Cutler Classic that was supposed to happen 5 weeks from this Saturday. That got postponed to June 27th. I knew a ton of people prepping for that show. I was getting a heavyweight bodybuilder ready for that show. So and they're like, now what do I do? Do I keep dieting? Do I keep running all that gear? What do I do?
Oh my God,
So
Ron.
they're basically going to be on cruise control for a few weeks till we even know. I said, don't go off he doesn't want to go off his diet, but I said, let's see what happens April 1st. Let's see if gyms get back open. Let's see if things get back to normal before we even think about which show to do. Because yeah, I mean, these poor people, they were dieting and using all that gear, paid coaches, paid posing coaches, had suits made, all this stuff. And now, but this is the whole world. Everyone's taking a hit. Everyone's businesses are affected. So many places are shut down now. I want to mention to you guys, though, this is probably a good time for you guys to get an appointment with the doctor via Zoom or Facebook or Skype because your schedule is a little cleared up due to patients not coming in. So testosteronology.com, that's where you can contact Dr.
We have a lot
O'Connor.
of guys coming though. I mean, I'm just so humble to say it that my business is I mean, I don't know how the thing we're going to take a hit like everyone else a little bit, but there's a lot of guys that are just it's all I do is telemedicine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of my guys are all staying with me, people, but it's just I'm just trying to see as many guys as I can to help everyone as I can. No primary care.
Right.
There's a few primary. I take care of a few very select primary care people from the old days, but a lot of guys are calling, hammering in. Can you call me in this? Everyone just wants medicines called, and you got to be a patient, guys.
Oh, man.
I gotta at least talk to them and I do telemedicine and I actually have a Zoom platform that's HIPAA approved
Huh?
because after this, Ron,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna why we should do telemedicine appropriately.
Yeah. I mean, unless they have to physically examine you, why
Well,
would you?
see, here's the deal. I'm an internal medicine doc, so I love the physical exam is so important.
Mm,
It just is. But if you're doing it for right now, we can't. So,
right.
but when it resumes, there are people that are very healthy that can get a physical exam and vital signs by a local caregiver. It's all robotic. It's all like and then
Wow.
you work together. So I'm able to look at the data and to make my decisions. But there's Ron, two guys came into we called them and said, my office called and said, you can do telemedicine. Dr. O'Connor will do a whole no, 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 no. These are guys from Massachusetts and New York. They're not so far away, but
Right.
they want to come in. And I kept it's in the beginning, I don't touch them. But then after an hour and a half, both guys, I shook their hand and I was like, oh my God, I just shook your hand. So but Ron, we're trying. We don't know what to do.
No,
We don't
nobody
know.
does. This is the most uncertain time I can remember in my entire life. Man, I mean, with so many things just up in the air and people not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow or next week, or are we going
You
to have
know,
martial law? We're going to have tanks rolling through the streets. Who knows?
Ron, and things were going so damn well. Ugh,
Yeah. Well,
things were cranking, but it is what it is, buddy. We got to get through it together.
but back to the topic to just sum things up. I want you guys to check out the doctor's video. It's on his channel, Anabolic Doc, because as we said, there are no clinical studies, but right there, you're having almost 300 testimonials from steroid users who do claim that they feel their immune system is stronger on anabolic steroids than it is off. So, I mean, there's only a couple people who said otherwise out of a very large sample. And these are not, you're not writing these comments, right? That's not you.
I'm
That's,
not, no, and I'm saying just be careful. You can't
yeah.
just please don't start taking steroids to ameliorate and to
No.
support your immune system. But we're not going to have studies on this probably ever because no company can make money on it.
Yeah. And it's,
It's
it's
sad.
unethical. It's unethical, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's really it theoretically is unethical to give
Mm.
someone a human being something that could hurt them.
Mm.
But if there's no, and Dr. Bashane has given guys up to 500 or 750 milligrams a week of testosterone injections.
That's true.
There was no data, and he disclaimed that there's no data to say that it really does hurt. So it's all this questionable, subjective. We don't know if it hurt. Common sense has to prevail, Ron.
Yeah.
If you take too much of booze, it's going to hurt you. Too much of steroids, it's going to hurt you. You know, I did my right level, doc. I did my research. We don't even have research on it. I wish it would come out, which I think, you know, I'm working on some research studies.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention where, or who, people know, they follow me. They know where I'm doing research, real online research. That data bank is exploded. We have thousands upon thousands of pieces of data. Oh, thousands. You know, over 2,500. We may be near 3,000 data. Yep.
Excellent.
So sooner or later, we're going to start to really put that. We're just so busy. We're just, me and this other doctor are just so overloaded with our work.
Yeah.
But we're going to, next year, we're going to put that together and we're going to publish that, and we're going to blow the world away.
Wow. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
That's
We can talk about coronavirus all day, but guys, like I said, check out the doctor's video on Anabolic Doc. Just the comment section alone is where you can watch his video. It's only like 11 minutes, but then the comments are really interesting to read from all these people self-reporting their personal experience with steroids and how they feel it does seem to help their immune system. And we're not exactly sure why, but these people aren't lying and they're not being paid to say this. So
we don't know. We just don't know. Be careful.
Check out the book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal. Get that at the doctor's website, the new website, testosteronology.com. And there's also a contact there if you want to have a conference from wherever you are in the world, India, South Africa, China, who knows. Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time, especially with all this stuff going on. We're all just trying to figure out life day to day at this point. Yeah.
That's it. Let's all stay together and just try to keep it to a down low.
And everybody wash your damn hands. Thanks for watching. Ask the Anabolic Doc. We'll see you next time.